We listen and we don't judge. It's a very interesting phrase when you think about it, because a lot of people, they use that phrase before they're about to say something that they're absolutely about to be judged by, right? Because the thing is that humans by nature are very judgy species, right? We're always judging each other based off other things, or at least most people are, right? But only the people who do listen and don't judge are the ones who succeed in life. Season 5, Episode 4, Take 1. What is good, everybody? My name is Jake, and welcome back to the One Take series, where we get one chance to reflect on the day. No second chances, no third chances, one take, and one take only. And today, we're going to go down the list, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit of backstory behind this title that I have for you guys today. So, for Bible, I failed yesterday. I apologize, Jesus. I plan on doing it today. Gym, yet to today, but I plan on doing it after work. I think the order that I'm going to go in from now on is I want to do... I think it would be best just one take work, and then I'm debating on whether I should do like Jesus or gym first. I think I should probably do maybe Jesus. That's not a bad idea. We'll try that out today. So then Jesus, and then afterwards I should put working out. I think that would be a good idea. So just kind of going in that order, trying it, seeing how it works. But like I said, I really do have to work on utilizing my mornings more effectively. Which, by the way, if we're going to talk about sleep, I did sleep very well last night. However, I got to bed very late, and I was kind of realizing that the 9:30 to 6:30 may not be ideal for my certain circumstances, but I do want to find some sort of time range where I am sleeping a good amount. I think a good fix could be like maybe 10:30 hard cap, but then we try to wrap everything up at around 9:30. I think that we should try and start implementing that. So moving on from that, we got internships and music, which I did not work on, and the same thing with research. Today I'll be honest, I didn't really do much, but it is like kind of the former half of the day, right? And it was mainly because I was doing a lot of academic stuff for one of my classes. So academics was very, very productive today. I just need to incorporate some of the other elements to make it a more full day, right? Let's see, other things. Yeah, one take number 3 is out. I apologize for the angled camera, by the way. I had no knowledge that the camera just straight up kind of fell and slid partway through, and therefore my whole thing was on like an angle like this. It was just like the craziest thing, but I apologize for that. I will try and promise that that won't happen again. Big Brother, we obviously watched during work, so that was able to be pretty productive. And I also plan on finishing 2.5 episodes today because I'm partway through one of them. And then by watching 20 minutes of that and then 2 45 or 43-minute episodes, I should be able to finish all of those, which is very nice. And then, yeah, okay, that's everything on the list. So let's just cover what happened today. So for the first class, what ended up happening is that my professor, I originally wasn't too keen on like his teaching style or just the way that he was like producing things, just because it seemed like it was going to be very all over the place and very scattered. But what was nice is that he taught something that I already knew, so it was almost like I got to like learn a bit more about his teaching style. And so far, I like him, honestly. I like him a lot more than I thought it would. He stands on business, that's for sure. The main reason I say that was because there were a bunch of people who were coming in late today, right? And so he said he was in a good mood, so he wasn't going to take attendance. But one of the things he said, he has 2 main rules in that class, right? He doesn't want you to be late, and he doesn't want you to be on your phone during class, mainly just because those 2 things are very distracting to him. So the thing is that people came in, there was someone who came in 2 minutes late. He was like, okay guys, like next time let's make sure that we're coming in on time. He was stern that time, like, okay, wait, like that was like 2 minutes late, give a little leniency, right? But then it happened again with 10 minutes. He's like, guys, let's make sure we're coming in late. And I'm like, okay, that one is valid, because 10 minutes late is crazy. Especially, I mean, like, I don't know why you would even be 10 minutes late, but that's kind of crazy, right? And then there was 20 minutes late. Okay, I'm like, what? I'm like, this is the second time we've been having this class. I'm like, me myself, I'm shocked that people are coming in late. I kid you not. There was someone who came in 50 minutes late to class. 50. I don't care where you're coming from. 50 on the second lecture is absolutely unacceptable. So he was literally just stopped the whole lecture. He was like, okay, hang on. What is your name? And then the person said their name, right? And so he was like, okay, like, because I'm keeping that in mind for next time, right? Like, you guys can't just come in here late and expect to actually, like, learn anything, right? And I completely agree with him, because it's very much a class where it follows from the previous lecture. So if you're coming in 50 minutes late, I was telling my roommate about the situation, and they were like, well, at that freaking point, you might as well just not even attend class, which absolutely, in that context, if he hadn't attended class, then at least the professor would have just not even realized he was there. But because he attended class 50 minutes late, now that's the first thing he's going to think about, right? And so that's the thing. I was saying after we got out of class, I'm like, okay, we listen and we don't judge, but 50 minutes late to a class is pretty crazy, okay? And listen, that's not me like just judging by myself, right? Okay, well, it kind of is. I am a little bit judgy, and that is something that I need to work on. Mainly because I feel like I'm being judged all the time. I think that's really something that I need to look into personally, just because I feel like there's just a lot of like eyes. I don't know why. I get like a feeling that there's kind of eyes everywhere, and I used to be really good personally at like just ignoring like comments from the world and stuff, and just what people think of you. I used to be very good at that, and I think I'm still okay at that, but I tend to think a little bit more about what others are thinking, which is not really good when I'm trying to propel myself forward, right? So I think that's definitely something that I need to work on personally. But the thing is that I know that his excuse for being 50 minutes late to class was that he had the time wrong. But even then, in my opinion, that is still a little, you gotta admit, that is a little unacceptable considering that it's the second class, right? That's the thing, is that I was talking about it yesterday, right? The thing about us humans is that we're able to learn from history, right? I may have accidentally gotten up prior to that test, prior to that pop quiz that I wasn't expecting that everyone else was, so the pop quiz. But the thing is that I made the mistake, right? And I know not to make that mistake again. Whereas he should have known from the first lecture that the time was there, and then he missed, I don't know. It was just weird. So, it is what it is, but don't judge people too harshly, because in the end, we are all human and we all make mistakes sometimes, okay? If you're pointing and laughing at someone making a mistake, then chances are in the next few minutes, you're going to be making a mistake, and then that same person will be laughing and pointing at you. So be very, very, very careful about that, right? And then the next class, I mean, it just happened, right? It just kind of occurred, and it existed, and nothing really much came out of it, to be honest. It was just kind of a chill period, and not really a lot happened. There was a little bit of a scare, because on the website that we were using to do the assignments and the readings, they said it was due on September 9th, and then I looked in the syllabus, and then someone told me it was due right before class, and I'm like, okay, well that can't be right, because obviously it's August 28th, right? And so then I check, and in the syllabus it does say that, but thankfully the professor said that it was 9/9, right? And I'm like, dude, thank goodness, because like I could not afford 2 embarrassments in a row. Okay, I already embarrassed myself yesterday when I got up in front of the entire class before the pop quiz was actually occurring, right? But it was just like a thing of like, I'm very, very glad that like I like didn't mess anything up, especially because it felt appropriate. I mean, like, there were like 14 different articles that were assigned the first day. If you really think I'm gonna read all of those in 2 days, you're just a little bit insane. So I'm very glad that wasn't the case. And so, that is what it is. I think that final 2 deal, I'm telling you, that's gonna be a major, major point of just the entire semester. Because my original thing was like, I was thinking just because I made the silent deal with my college friend first, that I'm going to go with him, but as more time progresses, it gets tougher, right? Because I know my high school friend, he is going to be, I mean, okay, this is no offense to my college friend, but like my high school friend, he absolutely, like, he is way too good at coding to be an ECE 101, right? Whereas me and my college friend, we're pretty much just learning it for the first time, right? Well, he's really not, because he actually paid attention when we were in like the MATLAB class that we had to take, and I was not, to be honest, right? So he is still a pretty good contender. But the other guy, whenever we have questions, we ask the other guy, right? And so it's mainly a thing of like, okay, well, do I want to be with the guy who has like more... Do I want to be the guy who's like, I'm going to be spending more time with, however we both ask questions? or do I want to be with the guy who kind of knows everything beforehand? And so I'm still leaning towards the college guy because I think it would just be cool to still learn with him and build stuff with him. And I really think that is honestly the goal. So I'm still sticking with that one person. But I'm still hanging with the other guy because he's my best friend. I mean, I'm not going to cut someone out of my life just because, oh, well, I'm choosing him over you. Haha. Like, you're alone. Like, I'm not going to do that. Like, that's just weird. So, I mean, I'm still hanging out with him. We're still a group of 3 as of right now, but I am planning on working with the college friend when it comes to the final. Supposedly, he wants to work with me, which I'm assuming he does. So, I mean, that's honestly pretty much it. Low-key, that's pretty much it, right? If I'm going down the rest of the day, just to recap what we're going to be doing after this video, 2 hours of work and therefore 2.5 episodes of Big Brother, then Jesus, then gym, and then academics, and then afterwards, we're just gonna call that a day, right? Because then afterwards it's gonna be Friday. I do whatever work I need to get done specifically for Friday, and we save the rest for the weekend, right? Weekend, like I said, we got bigger plans. We're going to start doing the one-take short form. That is definitely a massive goal. We're going to do the portfolio for internships. We're also going to look online for research and like just get a feel for different types of research professors and what I actually want to do with those opportunities, right? We've got 3 days, okay? The fact that this is Labor Day is a massive, massive W. We have the time. Let's sit down, make time for the things that are important, okay? That is the goal. So, what did we learn from today? We learned now we shouldn't be too judgmental of others, right? Because like I said, we are all human, we all make mistakes, and no matter how well you do go about life, we are all going to trip up at some point, right? And so when someone else trips, and if you're laughing and you're pointing at the person who just tripped, chances are you're on your way down as well. So be very, very careful and stay in your own lane. Don't focus on everyone else if you're trying to get ahead. Focus only on yourself. And of course, only on God if that's what you believe in. Personally, that is what I believe in. So I'd say believe in yourself and believe in God, right? So then the second thing is probably going to be, let's see, always be willing to ask questions, right? Because the thing is that I feel like when you ask questions, that shows that you're actually engaging with what's going on, right? The thing about asking questions is that we as humans are just naturally curious human beings, right? We always want to find out something, whether that just be like, okay, well, what happened after this TV show? Like, did these two like people get together in real life? Or something as advanced of does a like freaking quantum particle of like positive charge align with something that's like something, I mean, I don't even know what to mention of it, but something along those lines. Like, we're just curious human beings, so it's always be good to asking questions so that way you keep a sharper mind, right? So always stay curious, okay? And then lesson number 3, what should lesson number 3 be? It should be that, let me see. I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. I know we did give 6 lessons yesterday, so maybe all of those lessons were kind of like taking loans out of like the previous episodes. I need to think. Let me see. You know what? Yeah, whenever possible, you got to be honest with yourself, right? You got to look at where you're going wrong and you got to take accountability, because where you're going wrong, you realize where you are going wrong, and then you're able to fix whatever you're doing wrong because of it, right? I know myself that because I am a little bit of a people pleaser, that I need to work on doing more things for myself, right? I need to make sure that I am not ultimately benefiting everyone else without looking out for myself first. I think that's a really important lesson. And so I looked within myself in order to make that realization, just like how we should all look inside ourselves, figure out if there is anything wrong, and there's something wrong with all of us, but look at what's wrong within us, and therefore we're able to cast it out and become stronger people out of it. So I know those are kind of like iffy lessons for today, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.